Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be talking all about how to make the most of those get-paid-to sites.
GPTs.
Yeah, GPT sites.
Right.
Specifically, we're going to be talking about InboxDollars.
Okay.
And you've sent us some really interesting research on this.
Yeah.
We're excited to kind of unpack it with you.
Great.
Looks like you're not just casually browsing. You're really digging in to see if this is a hustle worth your time.
You've definitely done your homework.
Yeah.
It's great to see that you're approaching this with a critical eye.
Yeah.
There's so much hype around these platforms.
Right.
So having a realistic perspective is key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for anyone just tuning in, let's start with the basics.
Okay.
InboxDollars is one of many platforms that promises to pay you for doing things, online surveys, watching videos, even reading emails.
Mm-hmm.
But how does InboxDollars actually make money, and why are they willing to share a cut with us?
It all boils down to advertising.
So, yeah.
Companies pay InboxDollars to get their content. You know those surveys, offers, videos in front of you? The consumer. InboxDollars then acts as the middleman, connecting those advertisers with potential customers and sharing a portion of that revenue with you for completing the task.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But something that jumps out from your research is the whole data collection aspect.
Right.
And not just giving away free money, right?
Right.
What are your thoughts on this data exchange, and what kind of information are we actually handing over?
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Every click, every answer you provide, every video you watch, it all feeds into a massive data pool.
Wow.
This information helps advertisers create detailed profiles of users,
Okay.
understand consumer behavior, and ultimately target us with more relevant ads and offers.
So it's a bit of a trade-off.
Yes.
We're getting paid for our time and attention, but our data is being collected and analyzed in the process.
Right.
That raises some interesting questions about privacy and data usage. Have you found anything in your research that delves deeper into these issues?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Some sources you've provided highlight concerns about the types of data collected,
Yeah.
how long it's stored, and who it's shared with.
Yeah.
They also mention the potential for this data to be used for purposes beyond targeted advertising, such as market research or even credit scoring.
Wow. That's something to consider.
Yes.
It seems like understanding the data privacy policies and being mindful of what we share is crucial,
Absolutely.
especially when it comes to sensitive information.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that free services often come at a cost,
Right.
even if it's not immediately apparent.
Right.
Yeah.
So before diving headfirst into those tempting tasks,
Sure.
it's essential to weigh the potential earnings against the data we're giving up in the process.
Right.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the actual payout. You've been digging into this, and I'm curious to hear what you've uncovered. Is it even possible to make any real money with InboxDollars?
The honest answer is,
Well,
it depends on your definition of real money
right.
and how much time you're willing to invest.
Yeah.
The reality is
Yeah.
most tasks on InboxDollars pay pennies, not dollars.
Okay.
You might earn a few cents for watching a video or $1 or $2 for a longer survey, but those can be few and far between.
So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Right.
That's for sure.
Exactly.
It seems like the key is volume. Completing a lot of tasks to make any significant earnings.
Right.
But with such low payouts,
Yeah.
how do we even know if it's worth the time and effort?
That brings us to a crucial concept, dollars per hour.
Okay.
It's not just about the payout for a single task.
Right.
It's about how much you can earn per hour spent on the platform.
Okay.
You could spend an hour answering surveys and make $1.
Yeah.
Or you could spend that same hour on a different side hustle and potentially earn much more.
That's a great point. It's about being strategic with our time and making sure the reward justifies the effort.
Right.
So how do we calculate this dollars per hour to make informed decisions about our time investment?
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
You simply divide your total earnings by the number of hours you spend on the platform.
Okay.
For example, if you earned $5 after spending 2 hours on InboxDollars,
Okay.
your dollars per hour rate would be $2.50.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a simple but effective way to evaluate the true value of our time on these platforms.
Right.
Now, let's talk about strategies for maximizing those earnings.
Okay.
Your research highlights the importance of profile surveys. Why are those so important?
Completing your profile surveys thoroughly and accurately is crucial for a few reasons.
Okay.
First, it helps InboxDollars match you with surveys that are actually relevant to you,
Okay.
increasing your chances of qualifying and avoiding wasted time on surveys you're not eligible for.
So it's not just about randomly filling out any survey we come across.
Right.
It's about tailoring our profile to attract the right opportunities.
Exactly.
What else makes those profile surveys so important?
Well, a detailed profile also helps advertisers target their surveys more effectively.
Okay.
Remember,
Yeah.
they're paying for access to specific demographics.
Right.
The more information you provide,
Yes.
the more valuable you become to them, which can lead to higher paying surveys.
It's like creating a targeted resume for the GPT world.
Exactly.
Showcasing our unique skills and experiences to attract best-paying gigs.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've established that crafting a detailed profile is essential.
Right.
But with so many earning activities on InboxDollars, where should we focus our energy to maximize those dollars per hour?
Based on your research,
Okay.
surveys generally offer the highest earning potential.
Okay.
But it's crucial to be strategic.
Okay.
Prioritize surveys that offer at least $1 or more.
Okay.
And always pay attention to the estimated completion time to make sure the payout aligns with your dollars per hour goal.
So it's not just about chasing the highest payout.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot where the reward justifies the time investment.
Exactly.
You also mentioned something called screener questions.
Yes.
What are those, and how do they factor into our survey strategy?
Screener questions are those initial questions at the beginning of a survey that determine if you fit the target demographic.
Yep.
They're designed to weed out people who don't meet the specific criteria.
So it's like a pre-screening process.
Exactly.
To ensure they're getting the right participants for the survey.
Right.
It seems like honesty is key here.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if we try to fudge the answers to qualify for a survey that we're not actually eligible for?
You're likely to get disqualified partway through,
Okay.
wasting your time and missing out on the payout.
Right.
Plus, most platforms have algorithms that detect inconsistencies in your answers,
Okay.
which could flag your account and potentially lead to suspension.
So honesty really is the best policy here.
Yes.
It's about playing the long game
Mm-hmm.
and building a reputation as a reliable participant.
Exactly.
You've also mentioned the strategy of joining multiple survey sites.
Right.
Why is diversification important in the GPT world?
It's similar to diversifying your investments by spreading your efforts across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
You increase your earning potential and reduce your reliance on a single site.
Right.
Plus, different sites offer different types of surveys and earning opportunities.
Okay.
So you're more likely to find something that fits your interests and schedule.
So it's like casting a wider net and increasing our chances of catching those lucrative surveys.
Exactly.
You've listed some other GPT sites in your research like Swagbucks, Survey Junkie, and MyPoints, to name a few.
Right.
Is there a magic number of sites we should aim for? Or is it more about finding the right fit?
It's definitely more about quality over quantity.
Okay.
Managing multiple accounts can be time-consuming. So it's important to find a balance and focus on a few sites that you genuinely enjoy and find worthwhile.
Yeah.
Don't spread yourself too thin and end up sacrificing your precious time for minimal rewards.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about finding a sustainable system that works for our individual needs and goals.
Exactly.
We've covered a lot of ground with surveys.
Right.
But there are other earning opportunities on InboxDollars, like offers, videos, games, and even their search engine.
Right.
Are these worth exploring, or are they just distractions from the more lucrative survey hustle?
While it's good to be aware of all the options,
Okay.
some of these activities are definitely more worthwhile than others.
Okay.
Offers, for example,
Okay.
can be tempting because they often promise higher payouts.
Okay.
But they can also be tricky.
Okay, this sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the world of offers and uncover what makes them so potentially lucrative.
Sure.
And potentially risky.
Right.
What have you found?
Offers often involve signing up for free trials or subscription services.
Okay.
While the payout can be decent, there's a catch.
Okay. That cat.
You really need to scrutinize the fine print.
The fine print.
Yeah.
It's where the details hide.
Right.
What kind of catches are we talking about here?
Some offers automatically enroll you in a paid subscription after the free trial ends.
Oh.
You could end up paying more than you earned if you're not careful.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You're getting something for free, but it could cost you in the long run if you're not diligent.
Right.
What are some tips for navigating these offers safely?
Definitely set reminders to cancel before the trial ends if you don't intend to continue the service.
Right.
And consider using a separate email address for these offers to avoid cluttering your main inbox.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
It's like creating a dedicated space for those trial offers.
Right.
So they don't overwhelm our main inbox.
Exactly.
What about the other earning activities, like videos and games?
Yeah. The payout for those tends to be quite low.
Okay.
For videos, you might earn a few cents for watching a series of them, but it's not going to make a significant dent in your income goals.
So those are maybe best for passive earning, something you have running in the background while you're doing other things.
Exactly.
What about those games they have on InboxDollars?
Yeah.
Did your research uncover any hidden gems there?
Honestly, the games seem to be more for entertainment than serious earning.
Okay.
The payout is minimal, and you're likely to earn more by focusing on other activities like surveys or those carefully vetted offers.
So not a gold mine for those seeking a side hustle income. Then you also mentioned their search engine.
Yeah.
Is that a viable way to earn?
Not really. The payout is fractions of a cent per search, so low that it's barely worth the effort.
Okay, so we've covered surveys, offers, videos, games, and search.
Right.
Is there anything else on InboxDollars worth exploring?
Yes. The referral program is an interesting one.
Yeah.
You can earn a percentage of your referrals earnings, which can add up if you refer active users.
It's like building a mini network of earners,
right?
Each contributing to the overall pot.
Exactly.
But we have to be ethical about promoting our referral link.
Oh, absolutely.
No spamming our friends and family with endless invites.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead, focus on genuinely recommending InboxDollars to people who you think would genuinely benefit from it.
Okay.
You could share it on social media, but always provide context and explain why you recommend it.
It's about being transparent and adding value.
Right.
Not just bombarding people with links.
Exactly.
So to summarize what we've covered so far.
Okay.
If you're serious about maximizing your earnings on InboxDollars, focus on completing your profile surveys thoroughly. Prioritize high-paying activities like strategic surveys and those carefully considered offers.
Right.
And maybe explore the referral program ethically.
Exactly. And always remember to track your time and calculate your dollars per hour to make sure the reward justifies the effort.
Right. It's all about making informed choices and being strategic with our time.
Exactly.
Now, you've also done some research on more advanced strategies.
Yes.
Ways to take our GPT hustle to the next level. Are you ready to dive deeper into those?
Absolutely. There are definitely ways to optimize your earning potential beyond the basics.
Perfect. So let's talk advanced strategies.
Okay.
What are some of the more nuanced approaches people are using to maximize their earnings on GPT sites?
One strategy that stands out is using multiple GPT sites.
Okay.
It's like diversifying your investment portfolio, but instead of stocks and bonds,
Right.
we're talking about survey sites and earning opportunities.
So instead of putting all our eggs in one basket,
Right.
we spread our efforts across several platforms to increase our earning potential and reduce reliance on any single site.
Exactly.
But I imagine managing multiple accounts can be quite a juggling act.
You're absolutely right. It's crucial to find a balance.
Okay.
Focus on a few sites that you genuinely enjoy and that align with your interests and available time.
Right.
You don't want to spread yourself too thin and end up sacrificing quality for quantity.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about finding a sustainable system that works for our individual needs and goals.
Exactly.
You've listed some other GPT sites in your research, like Swagbucks, Survey Junkie, and MyPoints, to name a few.
Right.
Is it about trying them all out to see what sticks? Or are there ways to be more strategic in choosing the right platforms?
Definitely be strategic.
Okay.
Before diving into a new platform, do your research.
Okay.
Check their reputation, compare their payout rates,
Okay.
and read user reviews to get a sense of their pros and cons.
Okay.
And importantly,
Yeah.
look at the types of earning activities they offer.
Right.
Some might specialize in surveys, while others might focus on offers or other tasks.
It's about finding platforms that align with our preferences and strengths. Now, beyond diversifying our GPT portfolio,
Sure.
what other advanced strategies did you uncover in your research?
Well, there's this concept of targeting high-value surveys.
Okay, high value.
Yeah.
What makes them high value?
These are surveys that often pay more because they're looking for very specific demographics or experiences.
So it's like striking gold in the survey world.
Yes.
Finding those niche opportunities where our specific profile is highly sought after.
Exactly.
You mentioned a few examples earlier, like surveys for recent car buyers or people with certain health conditions.
Right.
What other types of high-value surveys have you come across?
There are surveys targeting specific professions, hobbies, interests, and even lifestyle choices.
Wow.
The key is to identify your unique selling points.
Oh.
Those aspects of your profile that make you stand out from the crowd.
It's about understanding our own value proposition in the GPT world.
Right.
What are some tips for finding these elusive high-value surveys? Are they hiding in plain sight?
Sometimes they are.
Okay.
They're right there on the main dashboard of your GPT site.
Okay.
Clearly labeled as high-paying or targeting specific demographics.
Okay.
But often, it's about digging a little deeper.
Okay.
Pay attention to the survey titles and descriptions. Look for keywords that align with your unique profile.
So it's about being proactive and not just passively scrolling through the endless list of surveys.
Right.
We need to be actively seeking out those opportunities that match our specific strengths.
Exactly.
Any other tips for snagging those high-value surveys?
Don't shy away from longer surveys.
Okay.
While we usually emphasize dollars per hour.
Right.
If you're confident you qualify for a longer survey with a higher payout, it might be worth the time investment.
It's like finding those high-paying freelance gigs.
Exactly.
Sometimes a more significant time commitment can lead to a more substantial reward.
Right.
What about those online focus groups we touched on earlier? Are those a viable option for GPT hustlers seeking those higher payouts?
Absolutely. Focus groups usually involve a more in-depth discussion on a specific topic.
Right.
And often pay significantly more than regular surveys.
It's like getting paid for your expert opinion.
Exactly.
But I bet those are pretty competitive to get into.
They can be.
Yeah.
But it's always worth checking if InboxDollars or other GPT sites you're using offer focus group opportunities.
Okay.
You never know when your unique perspective might be valuable to researchers.
It's about being open to those unexpected opportunities and showcasing our expertise.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered some great advanced strategies for maximizing earning potential on GPT sites. But your research also delves into potential pitfalls.
Yes.
Things to avoid at all costs.
Right. It's not all sunshine and roses in the GPT world. There are definitely some traps to avoid if we want to make the most of these platforms.
Okay.
And protect ourselves in the process.
Let's talk about those. What are some of the red flags we should be aware of when navigating these earning opportunities?
One of the biggest red flags is scams.
Okay, scams.
Unfortunately, the online world is full of them.
Yeah.
If an offer sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
It's that old adage that holds true in the digital age.
Exactly.
What are some specific signs of a scam that we should be wary of?
Be wary of promises of unrealistic payouts.
Okay.
Like earning hundreds of dollars per day for minimal effort.
Right.
And never provide sensitive information like your social security number or bank account details up front.
Okay.
Legitimate GPT sites will never ask for that kind of information before you've earned and are ready to cash out.
That's crucial.
Yeah.
It's about protecting our personal information and being skeptical of those pie-in-the-sky promises.
Exactly.
What other warning signs should we be on the lookout for?
Be wary of any site that requires you to pay to join or to participate in an offer.
Okay.
Legitimate GPT sites are free to join and offer earning opportunities without upfront costs.
So if they're asking for money before we even start earning,
right,
that's a huge red flag.
Exactly.
What about those offers that require us to download software or install extensions? Should we be cautious of those as well?
Proceed with caution.
Okay.
While some legitimate GPT sites might have browser extensions that enhance your earning experience.
Right.
Always research the software or extension before installing it.
Okay.
Look for reviews, check for security certifications, and make sure you understand the permissions it requires.
It's like checking the ingredients list before trying a new food.
Exactly.
We want to make sure we're not ingesting anything harmful.
Right.
Okay, so we've covered scams and suspicious offers. What other GPT pitfalls should we be aware of?
Another important point is to avoid oversharing personal information.
Okay, personal information.
While it's necessary to provide some basic information to create a profile,
Right.
be mindful of what you share and always read the privacy policies carefully.
Right. Because once our data is out there,
Yeah.
it's hard to control how it's used.
Exactly.
We need to be selective about what we share and understand how that information might be used.
Right.
What about those emails from GPT sites? Should we be cautious of those as well?
Definitely be discerning about those emails.
Okay.
While some might be legitimate and offer paid opportunities,
Right.
others could be spam or phishing attempts designed to steal your information.
So it's not just about blindly clicking on every link that comes our way.
Right.
What are some signs that an email might be suspicious?
Watch out for suspicious subject lines,
Okay.
grammatical errors, or requests for personal information that seem out of place.
Okay.
And if the email asks you to click on a link, hover over the link without clicking
Okay.
to see if the URL looks legitimate and matches the sender's email address.
So it's about being vigilant and taking those extra steps to verify the email's legitimacy.
Exactly.
What other traps do we need to avoid in the GPT world?
One common mistake is getting caught up in those low-paying tasks.
Okay. Low-paying tasks.
Remember, time is money.
Right.
It's important to track your time and earnings carefully
Yeah.
to ensure you're getting a decent return on your investment.
Right, because if we're spending hours on tasks that only pay a few cents,
Right.
we're essentially working for pennies.
Exactly.
And as we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
it's all about that dollars per hour calculation.
Exactly. And don't forget about opportunity cost.
Okay, opportunity cost.
Could you be using that time to earn more money in a different way?
Right.
Like freelancing, starting a small side business.
Yeah.
Or even just spending quality time with loved ones.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not just about the monetary value of our time.
Right.
It's also about the personal and emotional value.
Exactly.
We need to consider all those factors when deciding how we invest our precious time and energy.
Absolutely.
What other GPT traps should we be aware of?
One final point to emphasize is the importance of reading and understanding the terms and conditions of any offer or survey you participate in. Pay attention to cancellation policies,
Right.
especially for free trials that could automatically convert to paid subscriptions.
Those tricky automatic renewals.
Yes.
They can be a real headache if we're not careful.
Right.
Any tips for avoiding those unexpected charges?
Always mark your calendar with the trial ending.
Okay.
And set a reminder to cancel before you get charged.
Right.
And double-check the billing information to make sure it's correct. And that you haven't inadvertently signed up for any recurring payments.
So it's about being proactive and taking control of our subscriptions.
Exactly.
It's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to those automatic renewals.
Absolutely.
What about the potential for getting our account banned?
Yeah.
Is that a real risk?
It is.
And if so, how do we avoid it?
Getting your account banned is a real risk.
Okay.
And it can happen for various reasons.
I know.
GPT sites have rules and regulations that users must follow.
Right.
And violating those rules can result in account suspension
Okay.
or even permanent banishment from the platform.
So it's about playing by the rules and maintaining a good reputation within the GPT community.
Right.
What are some of the common reasons why accounts get banned?
Creating multiple accounts to game the system, providing false information during surveys or offers, using bots or automated software to complete tasks,
Okay.
and engaging in any fraudulent activity can all lead to account suspension or termination.
It's about being honest and ethical in our interactions with these platforms.
Right.
We need to remember that these are real companies with real rules, and violating those rules can have real consequences.
Exactly. And it's not just about avoiding getting banned.
Yeah.
It's about contributing to the integrity of the platform
Right.
and ensuring that the data collected is accurate and reliable.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
We're all part of this ecosystem, and our actions can impact the overall experience for everyone.
Exactly.
Now, beyond those major pitfalls,
Yeah.
are there any other nuances we should be aware of when it comes to maximizing our GPT earnings and protecting ourselves in the process?
One final point to consider is the potential for survey disqualification.
Okay, disqualification.
While it's frustrating to get disqualified from a survey after investing time and effort,
Right.
it's important to understand why it happens and how to avoid it.
It's like getting to the final round of a job interview, only to be told they've decided to go with another candidate.
Right.
It can be disheartening, but it's important to learn from those experiences and improve our approach.
Exactly.
What are some common reasons for survey disqualifications, and how can we minimize those risks?
Answering honestly and consistently is crucial.
Okay.
If your answers contradict your profile information or previous responses,
Yeah.
it can raise red flags and lead to disqualification.
Okay.
Also, rushing through a survey without paying attention to the questions can lead to careless mistakes and inconsistencies.
So it's about being present and engaged throughout the survey process.
Exactly.
It's not just about speed.
Right.
It's about accuracy and consistency.
Mm-hmm.
What other tips do you have for avoiding those dreaded disqualifications?
Take your time, read the questions carefully,
Okay.
and make sure your answers align with your genuine thoughts and experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And if you encounter a question that seems confusing or irrelevant,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to skip it or mark it as NA, not applicable.
It's about being authentic and true to ourselves.
Right.
Even in the anonymous world of online surveys,
Exactly.
we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. From the basics of how GPT sites work to advanced strategies for maximizing earnings and navigating potential pitfalls.
Right.
It's clear that these platforms can be a way to earn extra cash, but it's not a magic bullet.
It's not a passive path to riches.
Right.
It requires effort, strategy,
Yeah.
and a realistic understanding of the limitations. And most importantly,
Yeah.
it requires a willingness to track our time and earnings carefully
Right.
to ensure we're getting a worthwhile return on our investment.
You've given our listener a lot to think about.
I hope so.
What's the one key takeaway you'd like them to remember as they embark on their GPT journey?
GPT sites like InboxDollars are tools.
Okay.
How effective they are depends entirely on how you use them.
Mm-hmm.
Informed choices,
Yeah.
strategic action,
Okay.
and a realistic mindset are crucial for making the most of these platforms.
So do your research, set realistic goals, track your progress, and don't be afraid to experiment with different strategies to find what works best for you.
Right.
And who knows?
Yeah.
You might just discover a fun and rewarding way to earn some extra cash in your spare time.
Exactly.
Just remember to track that dollars per hour.
Yes.
And make sure it's a worthwhile investment of your precious time.
Absolutely.
It's been fascinating diving into the world of GPT sites with you.
It has been fun.
We've explored the potential, the pitfalls, and everything in between.
We have.
But before we wrap up,
Sure.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on a topic that often comes up with side hustles.
Yeah.
Realistic expectations.
Okay.
What can someone realistically expect to earn from GPT sites like InboxDollars?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
While it's possible to earn some extra cash,
Right.
it's important to remember that GPT sites are unlikely to provide a full-time income.
So it's probably not wise to quit our day jobs just yet.
Exactly. Think of GPT sites as a way to supplement your income, not replace it,
Okay.
and be realistic about the time commitment involved.
Right.
Even if the payout for a single task seems decent,
Yeah.
you need to factor in the time spent searching for tasks,
Right.
completing profiles, and dealing with those occasional disqualifications.
Right. It's like any side hustle. It requires effort and consistency to see results. And as we've discussed, tracking our time and calculating that dollars per hour rate is crucial for making informed decisions about how we invest our time and energy.
Absolutely. And another important factor to consider is patience.
Okay, patience.
Don't expect to get rich quick with GPT sites.
Right.
It takes time to accumulate earnings and reach those cash-out thresholds.
So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
Consistency and persistence are key.
Right.
But what about the psychological aspect of this type of hustle?
Yeah.
It seems like it can be easy to get discouraged when those earnings trickle in slowly.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
It's important to set realistic goals and celebrate those small wins along the way.
Okay.
Maybe it's reaching a certain earnings milestone,
Yeah.
cashing out for the first time,
Right.
or simply discovering a new survey site that you enjoy.
Okay.
Finding ways to stay motivated and engaged is key to sticking with it.
It's like any habit-building process.
Right.
We need to find ways to make it enjoyable and rewarding to maintain momentum. What about the long-term potential of GPT sites?
Okay.
Do you see them evolving in the future? Or are they likely to remain a niche way to earn extra cash?
It's hard to predict the future,
Right.
but I think GPT sites will continue to evolve as technology advances and consumer behavior changes.
Okay.
We might see more integration with artificial intelligence, personalized earning opportunities based on our interests and skills,
Wow. Okay.
and even new types of tasks that go beyond surveys and offers.
That's exciting to think about.
It is.
It seems like the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
But regardless of how these platforms evolve,
Right.
the core principles of informed decision-making, strategic action, and realistic expectations will always apply.
Absolutely. Ultimately, GPT sites are tools.
Right.
How effective they are depends entirely on how you use them. It's about taking control of your earning potential,
Okay.
making informed choices,
Yeah.
and finding a balance that works for your individual lifestyle and goals.
That's a great takeaway for our listeners. It's been an incredibly insightful journey,
It has.
exploring the world of GPT sites and uncovering the secrets to maximizing earning potential while navigating the potential pitfalls.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and insights with us.
It's been my pleasure. I'm always happy to delve into these topics and empower people to make informed choices about their financial well-being.
And to our listener out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've gained valuable knowledge and feel equipped to navigate the world of GPT sites with confidence. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination. So be patient, be persistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process of exploring new ways to earn extra cash and achieve your financial goals. We'd love to hear about your experiences, so feel free to connect with us and share your thoughts and insights. Until next time, happy hustling.